and that can be appealed, but that is the findings of both judges. My final point is the need for caution. Caution by the courts, caution by Congress, and the states. I believe it's important to weigh the United States' interest in AI innovation. President Trump has issued an executive order making U.S. development and global leadership in AI a national priority. China has its own priority and a plan of surpassing the United States and becoming the world leader in AI by 2030. The United States' national priority in AI counsels caution. Indeed, in Google versus Oracle, another technology fair use case of national importance, the United States Supreme Court itself cautioned, quote unquote, given the rapidly changing technological, economic, and business-related circumstances, we believe we should not answer more than is necessary to resolve the parties' dispute. Judges Alsup and Chabria departed from this approach in some controversial parts of their opinions that were just dicta. I disagree with Judge Alsup's suggestion on pirated books and Judge Chabria's suggestion on copyright dilution, as more fully elaborated in my written statement. At this juncture, I think the best approach is for Congress to wait and see how other district courts, the courts of appeals, and potentially the United States Supreme Court resolves these difficult issues, including access to pirated shadow libraries, in the many pending copyright lawsuits across the country. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thanks for being here. Thanks again to all of our witnesses. We're going to now have 7-minute rounds of questioning, and we'll see if we can fit in maybe a couple of rounds, just depending on the time that we have. I'll start, and then we'll go to the ranking member and any other members who arrive in that time. Professor Viswanathan, let me just start with you, if I could, and let's see if we can just drill down on some of the specifics here. Mr. Baldacci mentioned in his opening statement that AI could just feed dictionaries into their platforms in order to train them. They don't do that. They prefer published works, fully formed works. Why is that? Can you give us an insight into that?
That's absolutely right. They learn syntax, structure. They learn how we learn language, right? When you learn language, you just don't learn words. You don't memorize words. You don't memorize notes when you learn music. You learn structure and syntax. And the point that Professor Lee is making is correct. They need large data sets. More is better to learn predictive language models. However, more is not everything. It's not pirated works.
So let me just ask this. You said that they are not buying the books. They're not buying Mr. Baldacci's book or anybody's book who's sitting up here, anybody in the audience. They're getting them, they're stealing them, they're pirating them from somewhere. Where they, if they're not buying the books, they're not stealing them out of libraries, where are they getting them?
These large repositories of materials that are available online, there are many. Some are licit, some are not licit. The pirate websites in particular are not licit. So if you need a lot of material, you go out and you scoop up all that material that you can find. But you don't go to pirate websites to get that material if what you want to do is legal. None of these works are licensed. None of these works are licensed. No author has been compensated to date.
So how do they go to these, let's call them shadow libraries, to get the works illegally? They've already, by the time they go to the shadow library, the works there are already stolen, right? They've already stolen Mr. Baldacci's book,
Correct.
Professor Lee's book, everybody's book, your books. They've stolen them. How do they actually, when they go to the shadow library, how do they get them? I mean, how does the AI company then take possession of the particular work? Like,
There's a process called torrenting, and I will not trouble you all with the details of torrenting, but essentially huge amounts of data stream to you and you get them. At the same time, you can send them out. That's called seeding. You can send them out at the same time. Uploading and downloading exist at the same time. This is a peer-to-peer process. So not only are you taking in these pirated materials, you are also distributing them. The violation of copyright law exists at the reproduction of these works, at the making available